Hello everybody. So this is the second video of a series of market outlooks for next week. So next week we are going to it's going to be the week of 27th of April. So the last week. It's going to be the last week of April, and as you can see in the chart that I'm showing, is that markets have did pullback. We had an important like pullback, a reversed, which started by a reversed head and shoulders pattern that is visible here, right? So we had a reverse head and shoulders pattern which announced that price like move, or the sharp like the sharp dive of like of price due to the coronavirus crisis is not being is being has been weathered by the markets, right? And what happened is that price did reverse. Okay, what does it mean? It means that the threat of the coronavirus is not, it's not here anymore. I mean, it's still here, but it's not like the beginning of it. All right, so we markets or the markets think that the measures that has been taken by the different governments are helping stop the spread, etc., etc. I'm not going to get into this because I'm a pure technical trader, so I use only technical analysis. So let me just get rid of these circles or these signs so we can focus on what's happening now rather than look for reasons why it happened. It did happen because it has to happen, and the most important thing to note is that we have important zones at by looking left we can see that we have very important zones. I'm going to draw these zones first. So we have this one, right? Have this one. This is zone 1. Okay, so let's write it here. So we have a zone which I will call zone 1. Then we have a second zone where we are right now. That's why price didn't that's why price is, let's say, it's it has paused its up move lately. We see that price has been didn't weren't able to move out of this zone. So the means that this zone is very important to both sellers and buyers, meaning there is interest in this zone and buyers and sellers are they are agreeing on price, let's say, as long as price imbalance is not here. All right, so what do we have here? We have a gap. So what do we know about gaps? Gaps, they mean that they are going to be filled, right? So if price happen to leave this zone, which should be called zone 1, I'm sorry, because we will go from from bottom to top, and just so we are more coherent. So what we have here, we have two zones, right? So price is making a very nice here we have a very nice corrective structure that doesn't look like it's it's a bearish structure. It's most likely going to be a bullish structure, and from what we can see here, we can see that we had this first impulsive move up, and then we had this corrective move, all right? So we have this corrective move. So what do we see here? We see that if we have a measured move, meaning that we have both sides, I mean both impulses that are, you know, like separated by a corrective structure, if we happen to have this structure complete, what we would have price coming right at this level, all right? So this is a first indication of where price is supposed or can potentially, you know, like go. And even though we have this correction is not, you know, like there is no sign of reversal in this correction, all right? Why? You tell me why? Because, you know, like the previous low here, we can see it clearly that the previous low has not been broken, right? So here the previous low has not been broken, so we didn't break this low. We tested it here, and then price went up, and then we went down, but, you know, like we have a lower high, and then here what do we have? We have even another lower high, even if it's smaller. So structure is getting smaller. What does it mean? It means that we should have an explosive move coming. Like the smaller, you know, like the range, the more potential for, you know, like a breakout of the more probable breakout of the range, the more probability we have for breakout of out of this range, all right? So what I see that price is going to come and fill this gap, all right? And as you can see, it will, if it completes this, you know, if it completes this, you know, like a measured move, it's going to complete it right on at the top of this gap, right? So it will basically, you know, like close the gap. So what I see price doing, I see that we should look for a buy. We should look for a buy. And even if we are going to break this level, we might, you know, like break this level to the down, and we might, you know, like even, you know, like test this, you know, like this level, all right? So we can even test this level, so we can test these highs, these two highs where price just went straight up and didn't test it, right? So we can even get a little bit lower and test these highs, but you know, like the overall picture won't change. We also seen, I can also see, because this is what I'm seeing lately, is that, you know, like coronavirus, I mean, cases are you know, like are decreasing. I mean, the rate of, you know, like infection is decreasing. So what I can what you should see in the markets is that this measured move is very high probability. So I'm looking at only probabilities, you know, like we might even, you know, like we might even, you know, like have price reverse. Everything is possible. In the market is always right. Everything is possible. I'm not saying that price is going to do this, but I'm saying that this is the opportunity for next week. So the opportunity for next week is to look for an entry point, all right? So you look for an entry point as soon as, you know, like you have a breakout of any of these levels, like for example this level, all right? So I'm going to remove everything, because we don't need it, because I think you got the idea. But the most important idea is to understand that since you know, like everything is about probabilities, what you should look for a high probability trade. And a high probability trade for me is to wait until price, you know, like at least breaks, you know, like a major, you know, like a major zone. And one major zone that should be broken before, you know, like even deciding of where you are going to put, you know, like your entry orders, is this triangle. This is a triangle, all right? So this is a triangle. We have a triangle structure here. So wait for the triangle to break, because it's going to break, but I hope that it doesn't do it, you know, like during the night, because I mean during the night, so you have at least an opportunity, you know, like to to find, you know, like to place an order, right, before it's too late. But even if it breaks, you know, like you can always look for, you know, like look just for price pullbacks, all right. So you look for price pullbacks, and you look for strong, you know, like strong and green candles, like strong big candles at the low of pullback, using Fibonacci retracement, for example. Then you can, you know, like find an opportunity to buy. So this is a buy. This is a clear buy structure. You can clearly see it here. We have a strong move when price wants to, I mean, when price tries, you know, like tries to go lower. What happens to price? Price is can't push lower. You can really see it here. Price tried to push lower here. It was stopped. It tried second time. It was stopped. Buyers were stopped here, but here again, sellers tried to sell. They were stopped, right? Even if it's low, what does it mean? It means that sellers can't push it lower. Again, last time they tried to sell and they were stopped even higher. So they were stopped here, 1, 2, 3, 4 times if we don't count the first one. So four attempts of sellers trying to sell were failures. So we have 4 failures. So what you can expect that the high probability trade is to wait for this, you know, like for this wedge or this triangle to break. All right, it's going to break anyway, so it's preparing for a break, you know, like maybe we are going to have very, you know, like positive or, you know, like very bullish, you know, like bullish or, you know, like we are going to have a very positive, you know, like news by next week. It's going to push price even, you know, like higher, because price, as you see it here, it's just looking for any kind of positive news to push higher and to resume the trend, okay, and to close that gap that is getting closer and closer. That gap, this gap looks to be, you know, like is waiting to be closed, right? So this gap is waiting, this gap here is waiting to be closed, and it's, yeah, it's here, it's around here. So just try to find, you know, like try to find, you know, like a buy opportunity, and it should be okay. Okay, thank you very much, and I see you next time.